Harald Haas is a psychiatrist in Bern who also writes articles about various forms of nervousness, for example in the anthroposophical medical magazine Merkurstab, where he looks into the connections leading to the emergence of these forms of illness and strain. I have been particularly engaged in the issue of nervousness since the mid-90s, where I started to teach at the anthroposophical kindergarten teacher training in Bern. In the process, I worked through a lecture on the topic of nervousness with the students. Going back in medical history, we find the phenomenon of nervousness only since the middle of the 19th century. A nervous person was labeled as strong-nerved until the beginning of the 19th century. This reversed itself later on, where it became known as nervous weakness. That such a phenomenon develops and spreads so rapidly obviously places present-day medicine before a riddle. Psychiatry often thinks in relationship to genetic mutation as the source of nervous disorder. However, attempts to find these connections in the past decades remain without success. Rudolf Steiner discovered that the constitution of a person transforms itself, that in a situation where new abilities, such as perceiving more than the purely sensory, are being developed, nervous disorders can arise as a consequence. Fundamentally, we may say that wherever there is an ability which is not being grasped by the person, by his personality's core, by his self, it can very easily lead to the emergence of anxiety, which can reveal itself inwardly, but which can also make itself noticeable outwardly. There is the phenomena which also occurs together with it, which is known today in the pathological sense as hyperactivity, but in a weaker form as overactivity, as bustling, or as impulsiveness. This is actually very widespread. One could even speak of a cultural illness. There are exercises, some also recommended by Rudolf Steiner, to help to develop a stronger awareness of our personal behavior, not only outwardly, but also how we are functioning, how we are expressing ourselves, and, thanks to this awareness, to gain influence on how we are affecting the world. We can also increase our grasp thanks to eurythmy exercises, which are appropriate for generating awareness of our surroundings and simultaneously leading us back to our core in this alternation of opening ourselves lovingly to the world and then returning to our center. The air exercise is described as supporting the self in being secured and stabilized in the body.
besser fixiert und stabilisiert wird.